Now then, you lovely lot, how are you? Thanks for joining me today, nice to have you with me. I'm Emma and this is the 10-minute quilter. And in today's video we're going to talk about Festival of Quilts and what I bought, which wasn't a lot, I have to say. Thanks for watching my last video. I hope you enjoyed it, the little chat with cousin Tracy. I did find that as I went round the festival this time, I looked at things with a slightly different eye. So I hope it was useful. I hope you enjoyed it. I will put a link to it at the end of the video so you can go back and have a look at it if you like. Had a great time at festival. Had a lovely 2 days up there. Stayed with family overnight, which was nice, and did a little bit of buying, but I wasn't too bad. I think I was quite restrained considering. It was lovely to see the quilt hanging. I really enjoyed seeing it in its place. And oops, sorry, that's the wind blowing the door shut in the kitchen. And I was very pleased with how it hung, and I didn't place, but I didn't expect to, but I got some lovely comments from the judges, which was great. So I was very pleased with it overall, and it was nice to listen to people talking about it as they went past. And they were all quite positive, which was nice. Just remember that next time you're at a quilt show. Just remember that if you're saying something that's not very nice, the person who made it might be standing behind you. So yeah, just be aware. Caught up with lots of friends and familiar faces, which was lovely. I bumped into, who did I bump in? I bumped into Karen from Just Get It Done Quilts and did a complete fangirl moment. And so I got a photograph with her, which was lovely. She was very, very nice, really, really approachable, very friendly. I saw Adam from Adam Sews. Hello Adam, sorry I didn't get a chance to say a proper hello. He was deep in conversation with somebody at the time. I saw, who else? I bumped into Nick from Quilts in the Attics, Trudy Wood. Bumped into Hannah from Stitch Run, which was lovely. Nice to see you. I bumped into Davina from Little Workroom Crafts. If you haven't checked her out, do go and watch her videos. We had a lovely little chinwag and catch up in the aisles while we were looking at videos. And who else? Oh, John Cole Morgan, who very, very sweetly got me in to the show on the Sunday. Thank you, John. I know you probably don't watch, but it was much appreciated. Very, very kind gesture. And yeah, I think, well, lots of other people that I said hello to, which was nice. And that's part of the fun, I think, of festival, is going around and catching up with people and their news and seeing what's going on. What else? I did do a little bit of purchasing, but not too bad, I will say. Anyway, I didn't think I did. Fabric wise, mainly quilt backings. So I got these, I think it's from Lily Fabrics. It was one of the stores that had lots of bolts of fabric. And so these are all extra wide fabrics that I purchased specifically for quilt backings. The lady in front of me, before me, bought this. I just thought it was lovely. So I purchased some of that as well. And I bought, I think, about 3 metre quantities for each of them. Like I say, they're extra wide. Well, not extra wide, they're wide. They're 1.5 metres wide. So I figured 3 metres would give me plenty. And that's just a lovely little hedgehog one. I thought would be nice for a little children's one. And this one came from Rainbow Fabrics, which was a bit of a bum fight. It was there like a bit of a remnant section in the corner, and it was a bit of a rummage, you know, to see what you could find. And I picked up this, which I think is Tula Pink, and it goes for different gradations of colour all the way through. It's a little bit raggedy. I think it's got a little hole, it's got a rip along one side there, look, you can see. And I think it needs a wash before it's used, but that was £10. So right, you're coming home with me. Fat quarter wise, because you know, let's face it, none of us ever refuse a fat quarter, but actually looking at these, I think these are ½ metre. Yeah, they are, they're ½ metre cuts. They all just jumped out. And it was my friend Jen's fault because I went to Somerset Design to get her a pattern, I think it was, and they were there. So yeah, it's all your fault, Jen. But I just love those, particularly the green. I just really like the pop of the green. So so I bought those. Very nice to add to my collection. And what else did I get? I got some bag webbing. These were from Purple Stitches, Viv. So they've got the pattern and then they've just got stripes on the other side. But I thought they would be nice for a couple of bags. I've got some new needles for my long arm. I got, I don't know why, I'm not quite sure why I bought this, but it just jumped out at me and I really liked it and I thought it would make a nice little pouch, actually. And these were from Rose Garden Patchwork, she does fabrics and notions from Japan. And so I also got a pack of really nice funky zips as well. So I thought, what are those, 20cm zips, and they were £9.60. Not sure, I think it was about 6 in there. But I just thought they were really, really different, so I got those as well. And the other place that I went to was So Kind of Wonderful, which I think is the first time that they've been at Festival. And they had a little stand, and I've come across them before. I bought some of their patterns when I went to the Sisters show in Oregon. I think it was last year. And I have already got a couple of their patterns, but I had my eye on this pattern and I really liked it. And they do a little companion ruler to go with it. And so I had the pattern and I had the ruler in my hand, and I said to her, do you really need the ruler, you know, to make the pattern? And she said, well, you're trimming up something that was like 200 and odd rectangles for the quilt. So she said, in actual fact, it's a bit of a godsend. But the ruler was only about this big by about this wide, a little rectangle. And then I thought to myself, can I face trimming up 200 and odd rectangles for this quilt? My hands are just not going to do it. So I put that back on the shelf very quickly, and I did buy their quick straight ruler, which they use for a number of patterns, one of which I've got Posh Penelope. No, actually that's a different one. It uses a different one, but the Solarium one definitely uses the quick straight ruler. Anyway, I bought one of those because I like their stuff, and so I got that. And then I asked them, they also do long arm rulers for quilting, and I've had my eye on them for a while, and they'd only bought one set over with them because they weren't sure whether anybody would be interested. So they had them behind the desk, so I had a quick look at them, and I wanted to buy these two, which they said I could, but they asked if I could come back just before I left the show on the Saturday in case anybody else wanted to buy them or have a look at them. Not buy them, she said, we won't sell them to anybody else, but if anybody else wants to see them. So I went and picked those up before I left. So I'm looking forward to having a little go with those. They're long arm rulers, and it just recreates the curve that they use in the patterns. So, so it makes quilting things up a bit easier. So I treated myself to those, which was nice. Now at Festival there are a number of galleries around the festival for various artists, and I quite enjoyed a few of those actually. I think there was a Quilters Guild one that was very nice. I'll put a little bit of footage of that in as I'm talking. And Sarah Impey's, I also really enjoyed Sarah Impey's galleries. And cousin Tracy also directed me towards the Colour Minds Gallery, which is a group of, I think it's about 8 Dutch ladies who work within very specific parameters. They have a size requirement and they set a colour palette, and then they produce a work in whatever style or whatever subject matter that they want, but it has to be to that size and that colour palette. And they were just loved those very, very much. And the other gallery that I really enjoyed was Jo Avery. I went to Jo Avery's, and I've seen Jo's work before, and I actually bought her book, which I think is self-published, but the gallery was just very inspirational. I thought it was just amazing. Her work is just very, very modern, and her use of colour is phenomenal. Really inspiring. So if you haven't come across Jo before, do go and check her out, because, well, I think she's great. So yeah, have a little look at that. And I think that was it. I didn't buy anything else. I was very restrained. I found myself, as I think a lot of people were doing, thinking very carefully before you make a purchase. So this was a bit dull, isn't it, really? I was very pleased with what I bought, so that was good, and I had a great weekend. But I did come back from the weekend, and I did not hit the ground running. I hit the ground hard the week after. I came back home, and I don't know whether I was tired, whether I was completely overwhelmed by it, or what really, but I was a bit miserable, I think, really, I think is what my husband would describe it as. Come out of it now, but yeah, just came back and just didn't have any motivation at all. Yeah, I found it really hard to get going that week, but anyway. So I was looking for something to do that was going to be fairly simple and a bit of a no-brainer. So I pulled this out. So I finished a quilt, didn't I? I finished the jelly roll quilt that I did in my quilt binding video. And so because you finished a quilt, you can start another one, can't you? That's how it works, isn't it? Like I need another project, like I need a hole in the head, but there we go. So yes, I bought, I dug this out. Ow! Oh. Was my elbow. Anyway, let's move that so I don't do that again. I don't know about anybody else. I know it's not just me, because I was watching, I think, Stitch with Rachel last night, and she said the same. You know, that last hour of the show, she feels like she's on a supermarket trolley sweep, you know, just going on buying. And that is my danger period as well. I really find I have to watch myself. You know, you get together for that last coffee, and then you say, right, we'll do one last whiz round before we call it a day. And that's my danger period. I'm really sorry about my squeaky chair. I'm thinking about buying myself a new one. Yeah, I tend to go a little bit mad in that last hour, and that's always very dangerous. And this was purchased during that time, not last year, I think it was the year before. And it was very much an impulse buy at the end of the day. So this is the foundation papers for Jen Kingwell Designs Wensleydale quilt, and this is what it looks like. And I really like the quilt, so I thought, right, I'll buy the foundation paper for it. And it's, of course, as you've realised, it's sat there for 2 years and I've not done anything with it. So I pulled it out thinking, I know, I'll do this. I'll do 1 sheet a day. 60 sheets in the pack. Easy. So it's paper foundation pieced. The scrap boxes have come out again. And I have made a start on making my blocks. So when did I start this? So this was Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So it's day 7 already, and I've only got 5 blocks. So I'm already falling behind. But they do actually, not making excuses, but they do actually take more time than you think, really. And although I pulled the scrap boxes out, it's fine for these little bits here, but obviously the further out you come, the bigger the piece of paper, piece of fabric you need. And that these actually use quite a lot of fabric, which of course I don't have in my scrap boxes. So I've now broken into the fat quarter piles as well to get those outside pieces big enough for that. And yeah, they're taking me longer to do than I anticipated, but I'm going to keep at it. I've got a couple up there. I'm very much sticking with this sort of muted colour palette, I think. Don't like that one at all, but there we go, that's fine. And that one's not been trimmed up yet, so so I will keep going with those. So watch this space. 5. But I thought what I might do is maybe do 2 or 3 in a day and get myself caught up again. But that's my plan with those. I've also pulled out, hold on, I've also pulled out from my UFO quilt block, quilt series. I'm having trouble with my words today. I think I need a cup of coffee. The 2 trip around the world quilts that I had that are exactly the same, and I thought, I know, I'll quilt those up in between quilts for other people. And I thought, oh, I'll do 2 quilts, but I've actually decided what I'm going to do is I'm going to double bubble these, one front, one back. I've got a bit of wadding that I'm going to join together, and that's then going to take 2 quilts off my list. Done. So that's the plan with those over the weekend. I think that's it. I think we're up to date now. Oh, I've treated, somebody made a comment about the sound quality on the videos not being great, which I apologise for. It goes through the camera. So what I have done is I've actually treated myself to a new microphone. And as you can see, it's still in the box. So I need to dig that out and have a go with that. I'm not great with technology, so I'm hoping that it's going to be really easy to use and that it will make a difference. So I need to try and get to grips with that before the next video as well. I think that's it. I'm sorry. I feel like I've been all over the place with this today, and this is actually my 2nd or 3rd attempt at doing this. So we're just going to upload this now and just go with it. Anyway, thanks for joining me today. I hope you're all well, and I'll talk to you again soon. Take care. Bye.